The Cosmere is the universal name for Brandon Sanderson's most popular interconnected book series. But in the books, what actually is the Cosmere, and how does it all fit together? It can all get rather confusing figuring out what series goes to what planetary system. Well, I'm going to break it down for you as simply as possible. Brandon has referred to the Cosmere as a dwarf galaxy, although this has been amended to a cluster of planetary systems. To break this down further, a planetary system is a grouping of planets all revolving around a star, like how our own planet revolves around the sun. So our planetary system we refer to as a solar system and are located in the Milky Way galaxy. Now, for reference, the Milky Way galaxy consists of 100 to 400 billion stars, and we are but one galaxy in an estimated 2 trillion galaxies. So, those daunting statistics will give you an idea of just how small the Cosmere actually is, for the Cosmere consists of just 50 to 100 stars. Now, the exact borders of the Cosmere, I assume, spread as far as the investiture released from the shattering of Aether Homeworld. Although it seems investiture predates Aether Homeworld, so I do not know if investiture is commonplace throughout the entire universe or limited to the confines of the Cosmere. Currently, in the Cosmere, there are 8 relevant and named planetary systems that we know of, all under some degree of influence or affliction from the 16 shards of Aether Homeworld. Each of Brandon's series and standalone novels takes place in one or more of these planetary systems. On this depiction of a Cosmere star chart, we can see the different constellations that are sometimes referenced in the books themselves. Now, for a refresher, a constellation is a grouping of stars close enough together that they are named after whatever their dotted outline would form, typically a mythological creature or deity of some sort, which makes identifying that group of stars in the night sky easier. So our first planetary system is the Nalthian system, which is found in the Giver constellation, depicting a woman's head and long flowing hair. Our relevant Cosmere planet in this system is Nalthis, and is the planet on which the Warbreaker book and its tentatively titled sequel, Nightblood, takes place. The shard endowment, vessel Idgely, has influence over this system. The second, and perhaps most well-known system, is the Rosharan system, found in the Night constellation. Our relevant planets from this system are Braze, a frozen wasteland where the shard Odium resides. Braze is referred to as Damnation in the Stormlight Archive books. Roshar, the second planet, is watched over by the shard's Cultivation in the Splintered Honor, and is the primary location of our heroes in the Stormlight Archive. Finally, Ashen, or the Tranquiline Halls, which is where the Rosharans who follow the religion of Vorinism believe they will go in the afterlife. Ironically, it is also the original planet of the humans before their invasion onto Roshar. Ashen will be the setting for the currently unpublished The Silence Divine novella. Our third planetary system is the Scadrian system, which is also found in the Giver constellation, same as the Nalthian system. The most relevant planet being Scadrial, which is the location for the different Mistborn era book series. We've seen Scadrial undergo many changes in the Cosmere due to the merging of the original shard's ruin and preservation into harmony. Scadrial is the planet that most similarly mirrors our own world through technological advances. The fourth planetary system is the Selish system, which is found in the Lamp constellation. Sel is its most relevant planet and is the location for Brandon's first published work, Elantris, as well as 2 novellas, The Hope for Elantris and The Emperor's Soul. The shard's dominion and devotion resided on Sel and were eventually splintered by Odium. Their investiture was sent into the cognitive realm in order to prevent anyone else from taking up the shards. This is now referred to as the Door. Interestingly, on the constellation map, Sel is not located on the lines forming the lamp, but instead on the flame emitting from the lamp. This was intentional and is supposed to be a symbolic reference to the Door. Our fifth planetary system is the Taldain system, which is found in the One Tree constellation. The most relevant planet being Taldain, and is the planet featured in the White Sand graphic novels, as well as the prose version should it ever get an official release. Taldain is invested by the shard Autonomy, Vessel, Bavadin, which you may recognize from their avatar's appearance in Mistborn Era 2. The sixth planetary system is the Drominad system, which is found in the Fisherman constellation. First of the Sun being its most relevant planet, and is featured solely in the novella Six of the Dusk, in its currently unreleased sequel. No shard resides within the system, but Patchy, an avatar of Autonomy, has some connection to First of the Sun. The seventh planetary system is the Threnodite system, which is found in the Mourner constellation. No shards reside within the system, but the resulting aftermath from a battle between the shards Ambition, Mercy, and Odium, which ended in the decimation of Ambition, has had lasting ramifications for the planet Threnody. Threnody is the setting for the excellent novella Shadows for Silence in the Forests of Hell. As a fun nod, I would also like to point out that Threnody's neighboring planet in this system is called Elegy, identical to the name of one of our main characters in The Sunlit Man, which features some strong ties to Threnody. Our eighth and final planetary system that we know has some relevance within the Cosmere is the U-Tol system. What constellation it is a part of is unknown. This system is where Virtuosity splintered herself for currently unknown reasons. Now, interestingly, I would argue that our most relevant planet from this system is actually Kamashi, not U-Tol. Kamashi is the residence of our characters from Yumi and the Nightmare Painter, while U-Tol is the nearby planet our characters reference frequently. A space expedition actually leads the people of Kamashi making contact with U-Tol, which turns out to be a primarily oceanic planet inhabited by Shodel. This is significant because it is the only other planet known to be inhabited by Shodel other than their home planet of Yolen, which we will get into momentarily. An unconfirmed theory is that Zelian, our main character from The Sunlit Man, ends up on U-Tol in its epilogue, for it seems to be too coincidental for it to be another oceanic planet inhabited by Shodel. Although it would be more interesting if he actually ended up on Yolen, seeing as that's the home planet of his old mentor, Hoid. So this is a good transition into relevant planets that we don't know what system they are a part of. Starting with Yolen. Although a common theory is that Yolen is located within the Dragon constellation, often referred to as the Scar, and is heavily referenced in different Cosmere works. Yolen, home of humans, Shodel, and dragons, will be the location for the planned Dragonsteel trilogy, which will shed light on Hoid's origin story, as well as, presumably, the backstory for all the original vessels of the shards, for it should show firsthand the shattering of Nalthian. Canticle is the planet featured in Brandon's newest Cosmere book, The Sunlit Man. Canticle is inhabited by a group of Threnodites that fled from their own planet while trying to escape the evil. Unluckily, Canticle is a very small and violent planet where the intense sun rays will cause death. Lumar is the planet featured in Brandon's first secret project, Tress of the Emerald Sea. Lumar is unique because each of its 12 moons hosts a different Aether, and is the cause of the bizarre spores happening on the planet. The Aether's homeworld is currently unknown, although Brandon has referred to it as a core Cosmere planet and has been working on a potential series for it. Mythos is another planet that Brandon mentioned in the 2022 State of Sanderson that stated he is possibly working on a book series for it. Mythos is also brought up in the Lost Metal Epilogue 4, in which Kelsier lists it along with Sel in the Aether Homeworld as a potential ally. Bjendal is another planet referenced in the Lost Metal by the Ghostbloods as being inaccessible and a primary system. The exact passage reads as, "Moonlight," the woman said after a glance. "You have to read this. Travel to Bjendal has been completely upset. That's 4 primary systems we can't visit without extreme danger, if you count Rosharan." Obrodai is referenced in the Oathbringer epigraphs in form of a letter between Autonomy and Hoid that goes as follows. "We also instruct that you should not return to Obrodai. We have claimed that world, and a new avatar of our being is beginning to manifest there. She is young yet, and as a precaution, she has been instilled with an intense and overpowering dislike of you. The last possible planet is Vax, which appears in the Ars Arcanum of Elantris, as well as being mentioned by Ati, the Vessel of Ruin, in the Secret History. The passage goes as follows. Ruin stood up nearby blinking, or no, it wasn't Ruin any longer, it was just the vessel, Ati, the man who held the power. Ati ran his hand through his red hair, then looked about. Vax, he said, sounding confused. It would seem that Vax, the planet or location, resembles the expanse of vapors, the cognitive realm of Scadrian, for in the passage, Ati appears to think that he's on Vax. There are a lot of systems and planets within the Cosmere, and the more books that get released, the more the curtain is pulled back. We are at around the halfway point in terms of Cosmere books, and I would have to assume in the coming years we will have an even greater understanding of the Cosmere as a whole, and its unique planets. I have already done a lore video for the Scadrian system, and will continue to do more videos for other systems. So for more Cosmere invested content, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Until next time.